9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Latina Diaspora, where we discuss issues pertaining to Latinos in the United States. First of all, I just want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I also have my main channel, which is Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, where I discuss everyday issues and we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. Um, Also, I want to let everybody know that the subscriber mode has been enabled for the first 5 minutes. Meaning, if you're not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe for at least 5 minutes. I want to give a huge shout out to all those who've already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined, I really appreciate your love and continued support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, as well as those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so already, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Okay. So tonight I'm going to be discussing um, the TikTok guidelines. I don't think I'm not going to be here long, probably 30 minutes or so, more or less. I just want to give it some feedback regarding that topic. The other day I had spoken regarding the YouTube guidelines and things of that nature. So before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Well, first of all, just want to say that we're almost finished with the month of May. So now we're entering into the month of June, which of course we're focusing on graduation from high school and college. Also, in about a week from Sunday, we will have the National Puerto Rican Day Parade here in New York City. I will be loading some images, placing it on my main channel and on this channel as well. When it comes to like any videotaping, things of that nature, that could be an issue because the last thing I want to do is get hit with a strike from YouTube for uploading music or content without permission of the content creators involved. But it is an opportunity to show our pride regarding our culture, our lifestyle, our beliefs, and of course our flag. And of course, June is also Gay Pride Month. Now, for us who are Christian, that's a difficult topic to discuss, okay? Because, of course, we hold the biblical belief that the Bible does not paint a real positive picture regarding homosexuality. However, Everyone has a right to live their life as they see fit, love who they see fit. Okay, and when it comes to that community, I think the best thing to do is just um, allow them to live their life as they see fit. We can learn regarding how the community got started and its history behind that, just as they give us a little understanding regarding the LGBTQ plus community. Um, Also, you know, we're finishing up with the playoffs when it comes to basketball and hockey, and then the baseball season is in full bloom. So I hope that your favorite baseball team, whatever it may be, is doing well. Okay. And one thing we have to bear in mind in a 162 game season, there's going to be highlights and lowlights. Okay. And while baseball players, they make an incredible amount of money. I mean, it is a very competitive sport. Also, um, in the month of June, we will have primaries regarding the position of mayor and other local positions. Um, when it's appropriate, I'll give you my insight regarding what's going on in politics in New York. The last thing I want to talk about before we get into the main topic is that the reason why I'm devoting some time as far as the community guidelines when it comes to YouTube and TikTok, because we have to be mindful. Okay, maybe some of us don't want to, don't understand it that when we get into these social platforms, we at least in theory agree to abide by the guidelines, which it's there in theory to provide a an atmosphere where people are able to create content and upload it, and that the creators should be free of harassment, doxing, and things of that nature. Um, Enforcement of the guidelines is at times so. Okay, I would prefer that each platform would be 100% consistent in enforcing their guidelines. It will make things a great deal easier for all the respective content creators. So that with that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. Now, before I get into the main topic, let me just state that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to hit that link and opine in regard to the question, which is the TikTok guidelines, they may do so. As always, if I never seen you before, if I never heard from you before, I will insist that you come on the backstage before I let you on the panel and make sure that no one flashes anything inappropriate, which will cause the people of YouTube to take down this stream. Now, just to give you an idea of the reason why I've been discussing these guidelines, is because there are certain individuals that have waged a privacy complaint against content creators, which are false. And why are they doing it? Harassment. Okay. Unfortunately, you will come across individuals that have issues that have never been resolved, and unfortunately, they don't know how to interact with a member of the opposite sex. I will be discussing that further on my main channel tomorrow night. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Let me just set this up. Okay. Hopefully the image will appear. Okay. So what we have listed here is the community guidelines overview. Okay. Now, there's been a lot of talk regarding supposedly it's owned by the Chinese government and things of that nature, but let's focus on the guidelines, which is a source. Now, this is a source of entertainment and enrichment where you can discover, create, and connect with others across the world. And of course, they have guidelines to create a welcoming, safe, and entertaining experience. These guidelines apply to everyone and everything in our platform. They include rules for what is allowed on TikTok, as well as standards for what is eligible for your feed. Okay. Of course, the guidelines are updated. To help you read through the guidelines, we organize it. We highlight each rule in bold. Under each section, you can click more information for definitions, example, and clarifications of common guidelines. Now, keeping our platform safe, trustworthy, and vibrant requires balancing creative expression and preventing harm. We also use a combination of safety approaches to strike the right balance. And of course, it is the prerogative of TikTok to remove content from the platform. Everyone who joins TikTok has the ability freely to share their content on the platform. However, we will content, whether it's posted publicly or privately, when we find that it violates our rules. We allow a large range of content on our platform, but also recognize that not all may be suitable for a younger audience. We restrict content that may not be suitable that is only viewed by adults 18 years or older. A summary of restricted content can be found here. The FYF is an opportunity to discover new content and reach new audiences, but it's not guaranteed that all content will be recommended. Content that does not meet our standards will be ineligible for the FYF. Now let's focus on these are common principles, community principles, which are balancing harm prevention and expression, embracing human integrity, and ensuring our actions are fair. Now, the primary goal is to keep TikTok safe and a place for joy. We consider many ways that the content or behavior may impact our diverse community. This includes individual physical, psychological, financial, and privacy harms, as well as social harms. To strike the right balance between free expression, we restrict content only when it's necessary, and in a way that seeks to minimize the impact on speech. The creator unblocked by expression is what powers our vibrant community. We honor this principle, providing opportunity to share freely on a platform also productively addressing behavior that can inhibit speech of others. However, free expression is not absolutely right. It's always considered in proportion to the potential harm and does not extend to all recommended for your feed. Now, its civility creates respect between peoples and communities alike. This means acknowledging everyone's inherent dignity and conducting ourselves in a way as we're face to face to ensure space for expression. We do a lot more attitude with social critique of public figures. That goes also respectful of content. TikTok brings over 1 billion people across 150 countries in one shared digital space. Let me just check and see. Just give me a moment. Okay. Also, they do believe in inclusion. Okay, and of course, being worldwide is in areas where freedom of expression is not as clear cut. Now let's discuss safety and civility. Okay, and this is addressing violent and criminal behavior. We are committed to bringing people together in a way that does not lead to physical conflict. We recognize that online content related to violence can cause real harm. We do not allow any violent threats, promotion of violence, incitement of violence, or promotion of criminal activities that may harm people, animals, or property. And of course, they have a low tolerance for hate speech or hateful behavior. We do not allow any hate speech, hate behavior, or promotion of hateful ideologies. This includes implicit or implicit content that attacks a particular protected group. While the discussion on issue on TikTok, we want to be respectful of content and meaning, ineligible for FYF when it directly demeans protected groups. Also, they do not allow the presence of violent or hateful organizations or individuals on the platform. These actors include violent extremists, violent criminal organizations, violent political organizations, hateful organizations, and individuals that cause serial or mass violence. If we become aware any of these actors may be on our platform, we will conduct a thorough review, including off-platform behavior, which may result in an account ban. We are deeply committed to TikTok being a safe and positive environment for young people. We do not allow showing, promoting, or engaging in youth sexual or physical abuse or exploitation. This includes child sexual abuse material, grooming, extortion, exploitation, pedophilia, and physical or psychological harm to young people. And of course, it has no tolerance when it comes to adult sexual or physical abuse. We are committed to providing a space that embraces gender equality, supports healthy relationships, and respects intimate privacy. Undermining these values can cause trauma and may lead to physical and psychological harm. We do not allow showing, promoting, or engaging in adult sexual content or physical abuse or exploitation. And of course, they do not allow for human trafficking and smuggling. Excuse me. And of course, they do not allow any content which allows showing, promoting, or sharing plans of self-deletion or self-harm. We want TikTok to be a place that encourages self-esteem and does not promote negative social comparisons. We do not allow showing or promoting disordered eating and dangerous weight loss behaviors or facilitating the trade or the marketing of weight loss or muscle gain products. TikTok is a place where you can comment and discuss or learn about sexuality, sex, or reproductive health. We are mindful that certain content may not be suitable for young people, may consider offensive by some, or may create the potential of exploitation. We do not allow sexual activity or services. This includes sex, sexual arousal, fetish, and kink behavior, and seeking or offering of sexual services. However, it does not include reproductive health and sex education content. Good evening, Gigi. Thank you very much for stopping by. So tonight, the topic is the TikTok community guidelines. So I'm just explaining what is, as per TikTok, what is permissible and what is not permissible. Can we just give me a moment? Yeah. So the reason why I'm discussing it is basically to educate regarding social platforms as far as what is permissible and what is not permissible. Also, TikTok. Okay, and again, this is the official language from TikTok. I'm not saying whether it's true or not. I'm just simply explaining what they are saying. They do not allow content by young people that tends to be sexually suggestive. This includes internet kissing, sensualized framing, or sexualized behavior. We also do not allow sexual explicit language by anyone. We do allow some artistic content with sexual references such as song lyrics. Also, they do not allow for any shocking or graphic content. They do not allow content gory, gruesome, disturbing, or extremely violent content. Also, another area where it's a definite no when it comes to animal abuse. Okay. Which includes cruelty, neglect, trade, or other forms of animal exploitation. We want you to feel confident that you can access information that's reliable, discover content and original, and engage with people who are authentic. This foundation to the building a community of trust and accountability both on and off the platform. Oh, excuse me. Now we're going to be talking about misinformation. In a global community, it's natural for people to have different opinions, but we seek to operate in a shared set of facts and reality. We do not allow misinformation that causes significant harm to individuals or society, regardless of intent. We rely on independent fact-checking partners, guidance from public health authorities, and databases of previous fact-check claims to help assess the accuracy of content. Content that is ineligible for the FYF if it contains misinformation that may cause moderate harm, such as certain harm content, conspiracy theories, repurposed media, or misrepresentation of authoritative sources. Elections are important events that are often subject to intense discussion and analysis. We try to balance enabling these discussions while being a place where people bring people together and does not cause division. We do not allow paid political promotion, political advertising, or fundraising by politicians and political parties for themselves or others. We want to enable the informed exchange of civic ideas in a way that fosters productive dialogue. We do not allow misinformation or content about civil and electoral processes that may result in voter interference, disrupt the peaceful transfer of power, or lead to off-platform violence. Okay. We welcome the creativity of new artificial intelligence, AI, and other digital technologies may unlock. However, AI and other digital editing technology can make it difficult to tell the difference between fact and fiction, which may mislead individuals or harm society. We require you to label AIGC or edited media that shows realistic appearing scenes or people. This can be done using the AIGC label or by adding a clear caption, watermark, or sticker to your own. Even when appropriately labeled, AIGC or edited media may be harmful. We do not allow content that shares or shows the fake authority sources or crisis events, or falsely show public figures in certain content. This includes being bullied, making an endorsement of being endorsed. And of course, authentic engagement is essential to the integrity of our platform and informs how we can make content that you may find interesting. We do not allow the trade or marketing service that attempt to artificially increase engagement or deceive TikTok's recommendation system. Okay. The criteria TikTok is what makes it great, so you should only post your own work. We do not allow content that violates someone else's intellectual property rights. And now we're going to talk about spam or deceptive behavior. To build trusted community online, it's important that behavior and identities on your accounts be authentic and truthful. We do not allow account behavior that may spam or mislead our community. This will conducting covert influence operations, manipulating engagement secrets to amplify the reach of certain content, and operating spam or personal accounts. Parody or fan-based accounts are allowed as long as they are clearly disclosed in the account name, note that this is different from the username. We do not allow accounts to engage in platform manipulations. This includes use of other methods to register or operate accounts in bulk, distribute high volume commercial content, artificial increased engagement signals, and circumvent enforcement of our guidelines. So now we're going to focusing on gambling. Many people around the world find entertainment through games a chance. We recognize that risking money in a game or on a bet may lead to potential harm to some people, including serious financial loss or mental health. We do not allow the facilitation of marketing of gambling or gambling-like activities. While adults may make personal choices on how they engage in alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, we recognize that there are risks connected to the trading and using these substances. We do not allow the trade of alcohol, tobacco products, and or drugs. We also do not allow the sharing possession of using drugs. So now we're going to park it here. Okay, let me just make sure if anyone. So basically, those are the guidelines, in a nutshell. Okay, and of course the guidelines are there to provide a created and safe environment for content creators. The problem is there are people who do not always abide by the guidelines. Now, of course, you can't be hit with community strikes, and you can also have your channel deleted. Now, let me just give me a moment. No, that's not what I want. Come on. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is discuss the areas of violation. So let me just share that, and then I'll probably call it a night. Okay. Now, hopefully the image will load. Okay. So there are certain areas where you can violate the guidelines when it comes to TikTok. Harmful content. This includes content that promotes violence, self-harm, or I'm going to use the term self-deletion, as well as content that excessively gruesome, shocking, or glorify violence and suffering. Another area where there's a violation is hate speech and discrimination. Content that promotes hate speech, bullying, harassment, or disparages individuals or groups based on the protected characteristics, example, race, religion, sexual orientation, is prohibited. Another area of violation is sexual exploitation. TikTok strictly prohibits content that involves child sexual abuse material, youth sexual solicitation, or non consensual sex acts like rape or molestation. Criminal activities. Content that promotes or encourages criminal activities like assault, kidnapping, or swatting is also prohibited. Misinformation and disinformation. I think that's self explanatory. Violation of the terms of services and other policies. Any activity that violates such terms of service or other policies can result in penalties, including restrictions on features or even account bans. Now, violent content will be removed from the platform. Um, Temporary restriction may be placed on features like live streaming or direct messages while the content is under review. Repeated violations can lead to account warnings, temporary bans, and in severe cases, permanent bans. Now, I didn't even realize this, but there's a thing called violation points. Sellers of TikTok may receive violation points for breaching policies with the number of points corresponding to the severity of the violation. And of course, there is an appeal process. And these are the examples of violation: posting a video that shows real life violence or torture, using hate speech or making violent threats against individuals or groups, sharing images or videos that are especially explicit or involve child abuse, sexual abuse material, posting content that promotes criminal activities such as swatting or kidnapping, engagement in youth sexual solicitation or grooming, spreading misinformation or engaging in doxing, publishing someone's personal information with malicious intent. And we're going to park it here. So as you can see, there are various policies that are in effect, and there's consequences for those who violate the policies and things of that nature. All in an attempt to provide a safe environment where content creators can air their content. Okay. So I just, like I said, I just wanted to give a brief review in regards to the guidelines. I mean, if you want to study them further or deeper, you can do so at your leisure. Okay. But it's good to know these guidelines to make sure that you abide by them, and as far as what is permissible and what is not permissible. Okay. And of course, I tend to be very careful when it comes to content, making sure that it does not violate any of the guidelines, making sure that I don't use someone else's content without their permission, making sure that I don't air anything when it comes to hate speech directed towards any protected group, okay, and things of that nature. Now, of course, tomorrow I will go live on my main channel at 9:30, where I will have another episode of Open Discussion, where I will share my views on several topics. And of course, the audience will have an opportunity to opine and express their point of view. Okay. Also, if they wish, they are able to put in the chat what those topics they want me to talk about, and I will do my best to comply. Of course, if there's an area where I don't know too much information, I will be transparent and state so. So I do hope that you find this information informative. Uh, if you are in TikTok or you think about getting into TikTok, and have an idea what you can publish and what not publish, you are more aware. Okay, and of course, knowledge is power. So, with that being said, I'm gonna call this a night. Okay, and of course, the playback end, do your thing. You can share it as long as you use it for the purposes of getting information and not to attack me or any other content creator. So, and of course, tomorrow I'm going to have a lot to say. Part First, something to say regarding false privacy claims and certain individuals that are not who they are. And again, I'm expressing my point of view. You don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. It's that simple. But of course, I'm going to wrap this up. And of course, I'm going to close the same way that I always close, being that we must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged. Because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Latina Diaspora. Wishing all of you good night, take care, and peace.
Be strong. Be strong.